So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now that's right, today I'm doing a video called the best of 10 tag. Now what is that? I mean, I wasn't aware of this. I didn't know, I hadn't really heard of this. But it is something which I've been tagged in by a wonderful YouTuber and a wonderful friend of mine. So here I am getting involved. And that is the wonderful Mr. Jamie Powell. Now, I think a lot of people know Jamie Powell. He's very popular here in the Blu-ray UK YouTube community, whatever we're going to call this thing. He's very popular in it. And I was very grateful that he actually tagged me. So, there are going to be 5 more tags down in the description. So, hey, if you're a YouTuber, have a look down there below. You might see your name. If you've already done this or been tagged in it, I apologise. I'm sorry. But anyway, thank you, Jamie, for tagging me. Thank you for getting me involved, mate. It's always great to hear from you. You're a super nice bloke. And yeah, very exciting. So, we've got, you've got to pick your, here are some genres, and I think you've just got to pick your favourite film from each genre. So we got horror, animated, drama, comedy, sci-fi, action, comic book, western, romantic, and adventure. So, let's get started. My favourite horror film. Now, this was a bit tricky because I didn't know whether to say Jaws because it is technically a horror, but is it really that scary anymore? I don't know. I thought, I'm not going to do Jaws because it's so obvious and I'm not sure everyone counts it as a horror. So, I'm going to go with the original Alien movie, directed by Mr. Ridley Scott. It's classic. It's incredible. The tension in this film is fantastic. What works really well about this film is the isolation fact. You know, I love the tagline of "No one can hear you scream in space." I think that's incredible. The characters are so good in this movie, which is why I think a lot of people think it's the best one, because this film has the best characters of all of them. And, you know, the alien, when it pops up, it's scary. Still to this day, for a film of its age, the bit with the vents where it pops up still scares me. So, Alien is going to be my favourite horror film. Next up. What was next? Was it animated? I think it was. Hang on. Let me get my list. Okay, animated. Favourite animated film? Going to come as no surprise to anyone here. The Lion King. Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. It's incredible. I've also got the 4K edition in my collection, which was very kindly sent to me. But, you know, I love this movie. I love the story. I love the characters. The songs are great. I think this film works really well because it has really good pacing as well throughout. And it's just a classic film. It's a classic animated movie. Next up was drama. Now, drama is the one I struggle with because it's one of my favourite genres, really. I love, like, dramas and thrillers and stuff like that. But there's a lot of films which are technically in the drama genre. And I was like, I don't know, some people might see this as more of a thriller or more of an action film. So I ended up going with this one, and this one here is kind of crime, and it's a biopic, but it is a drama at the heart of it. I think this whole movie is drama. So I thought, as I say, these picks aren't set in stone. Like, this is one which, if I really thought about it and went through everything that I'd consider a drama, I might pick something else over this. But for right here, right now, I'm going to go with it. And that is probably Martin Scorsese's most popular movie, The Wolf of Wall Street. Absolutely incredible film. Is it Martin Scorsese's best? Probably not his best made movie, but it might be my favourite because it is his most rewatchable, without doubt. And it's potentially his most fun. I think this is a great movie. Leonardo DiCaprio gives an incredible performance as Jordan Belfort. There's a load of other actors who are doing a really solid job in this movie as well, like Jonah Hill, Margot Robbie, John Benville. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of really great actors in this movie. And this film is just so fun. What works about this one really well is it's a 3-hour long film, but it honestly just feels like an hour and a half. I think this film is absolutely fantastic. Next up, favourite comedy, easy for me. I love British humour. Being British, big surprise. I love Edgar Wright. But which one am I going with? Am I going with Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz? Because it's obviously going to be between those two. I went with Hot Fuzz. I know most people would probably go Shaun of the Dead, but for me, I think I like this one because it's got a bit more originality to it. The jokes are just as good. Honestly, these two films, this and Shaun of the Dead, are more or less on the same level. But I think I have a little bit more respect for this one for its originality. And the last act is fantastic. Okay, favourite sci-fi. I'm going to shock you all here. Star Wars. I've gone with A New Hope. A New Hope and Empire and sort of Revenge. You know me, I'm a big Revenge of the Sith guy. All sort of on the same level for me. I really just enjoyed it. They're like my 3 favourite films ever. I love episode 3, 4 and 5. But I always tend to put 4 down as my favourite and the one I have the most respect for. And I know that Empire is a slightly better made movie, but the reason I will pick this one is because this is the first one. George Lucas didn't have loads of money to make this. This film was predicted to fail. And apparently without, like, before it went into the editing and before John Williams added his incredible score to it, this film was a pretty much a mess. So the fact that this film turned out as incredible as it did and has become maybe the most profitable movie franchise ever for the longest time until maybe Marvel, is incredible. So I have so much respect for this movie for starting it all. So I've gone with A New Hope. But as I say, I love episodes 3, 4 and 5 all kind of equally. They're all fantastic. Next up is favourite action movie. Again, this is hard. Action isn't one of my favourite genres. I don't know, I never really watch action films too much. But there's a lot here that I could have chosen from. I like a lot of Bond films. I like a lot of classic action films, like Speed, if you count that. The original Italian Job, Michael Caine, is fantastic. But I'm a big fan of the Mission Impossibles. And my favourite one is actually the last one, Fallout. So I've gone with Mission Impossible Fallout. I think this is without a doubt the best Mission Impossible movie. And it's such a clever film. The plot of this one is just fascinating. There are actually a couple twists. And normally I think I'm pretty decent at seeing these plot twists come in films nowadays after watching so many films. But the one in this one about halfway through really got me. I don't mean with Henry Cavill, I mean like the face mask bit with Simon Pegg. That bit actually really surprised me. But Henry Cavill in this as well, speaking of the man, is absolutely fantastic. I really love Henry Cavill. The rest of the cast, you know, Rebecca Ferguson, Simon Pegg, they're doing a great job. And yeah, really, really great action movie there. Really great. Favourite comic book movie? Now, there's so many great films based off comic books in general. And that's outside of DC and Marvel as well. You know, there's a lot of fantastic films which have come from comic books. But, you know, DC and Marvel tend to kind of dominate that area, obviously. And they both have great films between them. DC have Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, of course, which is based off comics. You know, we have... actually, I want to give Zack Snyder's Justice League a shout out. I'm still very impressed with that movie. And then we've got things like Logan, Days of Future Past, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. There's so many great comic book movies out there now. I think we can all agree, though, the best one is Green Lantern. I'm sorry. That was a bad joke. Now, I've picked this one because, to me, as someone who's read a few comics, this, to me, feels like a comic book ripped off the pages and put on the big screen. Avengers Endgame. For me, this was it's my favourite Marvel film. I think it was superior to Infinity War, even though I do like Infinity War a lot. But this film to me was just so good. I love the whole revisiting previous movies to celebrate the 10-year anniversary. I think the story for this was really clever. I think the last act is straight up 10 out of 10. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had in the cinema. And it honestly feels like some of the Avengers comics just put on the big screen here. It's fantastic. So the characters' endings to the ones which obviously are not going to be returning were beautiful. Love that movie. Next up, favourite Western. This was easy for me. Django Unchained by Mr. Quentin Tarantino. I love some old Westerns. I'm a big fan. You know, I know that the Western genre was a lot more popular, and probably a lot better, I think it's fair to say, in the 60s through to the early 80s. There's some fantastic films that come out then. The original Magnificent Seven, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, you know, so many incredible ones. But Quentin Tarantino seems to hit an amazing note with Westerns, because I love this, and I really did like The Hateful Eight as well. And I also really liked On the Hateful Eight with Kurt Russell. I really liked Bone Tomahawk as well, a new Western film, which not many people have seen. I love it. But Django Unchained for me is my favourite Western. Not normally the biggest fan of Jamie Foxx, but he gives a fantastic performance in this. Once again, Leonardo DiCaprio giving one of his best performances as well, playing a straight, horrible man. Christoph Waltz, when he's with Quentin, you know, with this and Inglourious Bastards, the man is just 10 out of 10. And yeah, Sam Jackson as well was in this one, who's also incredible. I absolutely adore this film. It's so clever. I think the story is fantastic. I love the costumes and stuff in this movie. The soundtrack, the scores, sometimes you'd think a lot of the music in this would be out of place for a Western, but it works so well. The gore is to the right level. The humour is incredible. Like the bit with the KKK people with Jonah Hill kills me to this day. I think this is my favourite Quentin Tarantino movie. I think this and Inglourious are definitely his best two films. Okay, favourite romantic movie? Actually don't have it on me at the minute. I lent it out to my aunt. My aunt basically has been using me as a Blockbusters, which I'm fine with, but I don't have the movie on me, because I said, go watch this, because I know she'll like it. And that is the movie About Time. I had to think then. I was getting the two titles, because I know it's fun to say director. I nearly said Love Actually. I was like, oh, no, wait, that's the wrong one. Doubting myself. About Time. Starring Donald Gleason and Rachel McAdams. Also, Bill Nighy. I love Bill Nighy. I've always loved him. You know, seen him in the Cornetto films and Pirates of the Caribbean. He pops up for, you know, the couple small scenes in the Deathly Hallows Part 1. I really, really love Bill Nighy. And he gives his best performance in this movie. I love him. This film is incredible. It's so clever. And it's such a heartwarming movie. And at the end, it rips your heart out, kicks you in the bollocks, and then it helps you back up. It's such a good film like that. I've never been so invested with a family, I don't think, in a romantic comedy. I think this film is pure genius. It's pure feel-good. It's fun. It gives you every emotion humanly possible. I think the film is a bit of a stroke of genius, to be honest. And I know some people just don't even give romantic comedies the time of day, and I can completely see why. But this one is fantastic. It is incredible. Love Actually. Favourite adventure film? I've just pulled this out, and you can take your pick. Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Go with whatever one you want. I don't care. I mean, my personal favourite is Return of the King, so I guess I'll go with that one. But I don't know. The Fellowship kind of just screams adventure to me, because that's when the adventure starts and they're all together, because you've got the Fellowship. But take your pick. I love them all. They're the best adventure films without a doubt in my mind. But anyway, there you go. There is the best of 10 tag. As I say, I'm going to try my best to give 5 YouTubers that I know the task of doing this. Apologies to those YouTubers if you've already done it or been tagged and you're meaning to do it. Apologies. But anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Jamie, thank you so much for nominating me, my friend. It's been a pleasure. And to everyone else, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.